back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on a 2005 Toyota 100 Series Landcruiser. We just got back from an epic wheeling trip in the Daniel Boone National Forest with the Southern Four-Wheel Drive Association guys and the guys from the Kentucky Toyota Landcruiser Association. Truck did absolutely amazing, but I didn't come back unscathed. Unfortunately, I managed to do an alternator when I went through this bog hole. Oh, wow. However, we did manage to nurse it back home. So today what we're going to do is we're going to replace the alternator. We're going to go ahead and do all the fluids. We're going to do our front and rear differential fluid change as well as an oil change. It's due anyway, so we'll figure put this video together and maybe help you guys out along the way. Let's get to it. Okay, something to note before we get started here. This is not my original battery. This is another one I just had sitting in the garage. But the way my 100 series works is positive, negative. And you can see that if I had this battery turned the correct way around, I'd have the negative over here and the positive over there. So I've had to turn it around so I can get it to work, but this won't reach. And this is a common problem one I've noticed. I could make this the negative reach by just relocating this ground to say this screw right here. But this won't reach. So when we were coming back from the trip and we were switching batteries just to limp the truck home, I ended up picking up one of these just from the auto parts store. This is a good little hack, good thing to have in your breakdown toolkit bag just in case. Doesn't really matter what color it is because you're just using it to get you home, but basically I used it to attach to the positive there and then bring it over to the positive on this battery terminal so that we could get it home. So just a little tip. Good thing to have in the toolkit. All right, guys, got everything ready to do the post-trail maintenance on the 100 Series Landcruiser. Went ahead and got everything laid out here just for you to see. We're gonna do an oil change. Obviously, we're gonna replace the alternator. I'm gonna go ahead and put this stuff on the frame after I clean it off. This is like a little corrosion protection fluid film. Basically, it doesn't come off with like water or anything like that, so kind of stops any rust sitting in, especially this time of year with all the snow and stuff on the roads. Also got some Mobil 1 oil for doing the diff fluid change. Obviously got your FSM and some Mobil 1 and a genuine Toyota filter. Now, when it comes to doing the alternator, I went to the Toyota dealership and man, they quoted me north of $400 for another alternator. And I was just like, man, I'm a big proponent of using OEM parts. But that was a tough pill to swallow. So I found this one online. This is a Reman Denso, good alternator. And I think it came in at $220, but there's a $79 core return, I guess, refund. So it ends up being about $140. So $140 versus $400, big difference. Now, the other thing is this repair manual, handy to have, but to be honest with you, what Toyota want me to do is, they say, pull the grill off, pull the radiator off, disconnect, drain all the fluid. I mean, that's a giant pain. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go ahead and try something that is less invasive. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the engine cover, probably remove the airbox, take off the skid plate underneath, kind of see what access we have going on, and see if we can finagle it out from there. So. Yep, I know I got this. I know I got this piece of wood here, guys. Don't hate. I meant to order some new gas struts for this thing, but I just forgot and didn't get around to it. So, anyway, let's go ahead and crack on. There's a few 10mm bolts. I need to remove this bolt here and that bolt there, and there might be another one over there, I'm not sure yet, but we'll go ahead and remove those, hopefully loosen this up, pull this off, and that will give us some a better idea what we're looking at. The alternator is down, way down, I can't even see it, it's way down there. So, back to it. All right, under the truck, here is the alternator, and up here, that bolt right there, that is the tensioner, so I think that's a 14mm. So we got a 14mm socket, counterclockwise. We'll loosen this belt, we'll get this belt off, and then get to these bolts in here, and hopefully be able to pull this thing out. I think we may have to loosen the power steering pump, just to jiggle this out of the way, but we'll see once we get in there. All right, so while you've got this all undone, it's a good idea to pull the belt off and check, make sure there's no cracks. I replaced this belt not too long ago, so I know it's good. So to get to all this, it's gonna be impossible to film in these tight conditions, but you've got I believe that's a 12mm nut, a 14mm bolt, and I believe there's another one up there. See, it's tucked right behind that power steering pump, so I'm gonna have to wiggle that loose so I can get this, because this is blocking this pulley right here. It's gonna be a pain. So I'm gonna loosen all that and hopefully jiggle this out of the way. Alternator out. It was a little fiddly, but not too bad. This looks like whoever did this one before, it's the same alternator as one I'm about to put on. This little Denso 210-0607. Same one. I don't know if it's been remanned at some point or not, but anyway, not too bad getting out. A little fiddly, like I said. This connector here, I was reading that a lot of guys have an issue where this connector will snap or it's kind of brittle. I do have the part number to that. I will link that in the description below, so if yours breaks, then at least you've got somewhere you know where to find it. So what I ended up doing over here was, this is the power steering pump. You can see there's one of the bolts that's loose there. I had to loosen the whole thing, and I could just use this bungee cord and tied it out of the way so I could access the alternator. And then I ended up pulling, or getting the alternator actually came out the bottom there. So had to move some hoses around, but not too bad at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and, let's say, put some dielectric grease in this one and slap it back on the truck. All right, the battery light's gone out. The voltmeter is showing about 14 volts. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Not a hard job to do it all once you get all the tools in. Hour, maybe 2 at most. But not too bad, just a little fiddly. So once again, thanks to the guys at the Southern Four-Wheel Drive Association for putting on the event, and for the Kentucky Landcruiser Association for hosting us. We appreciate you guys. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment below, and we'll see you on the next episode of Music City Cruisers.